Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. Last night I went to, well, not night, but yesterday I went to the city and saw a matinee of the Wolverine with my girlfriend. And by the way, she's a big Wolverine fan girl. So she was like, anxious to see the Wolverine movie. So we went out there and checked it out on Union Square in the city. And I enjoyed this movie. I didn't go into Wolverine, like I wasn't really excited to see the Wolverine. Um, I didn't think that the movie that was before it, the X-Men's Origins movie Wolverine, was great at all. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it, but I didn't despise it as much as other people did. I was kind of indifferent to it, and I just always felt that you're never going to get the Wolverine that we want to see because of the PG-13 rating. I always felt that characters like Wolverine and Spawn and Ghost Rider and characters like this are R-rated characters. They're adult themed characters. So it's kind of crazy when you have a character who has blades coming out of his hands and no blood in the movies. So that kind of let me know that we're not really going to see that Wolverine movie that we want to see. And so I wanted to check it out because I had heard some good things about it, but I was came in with low expectations and I was pleasantly surprised. Um, it is a standalone movie. It still didn't. It wasn't a gore fest, but there was some blood in it. Like you did see blood on his claws and stuff like that, and the action was a little bit more intense than your average Wolverine movie. It wasn't like X-Men where he's stabbing people and you see absolutely no blood, and it's like you're not stabbing mutants, dude. You're stabbing people, so there's gonna be blood. So there was that, but it wasn't overly done, and it didn't bother me. Like I wanted it to be like in samurai movies. Blood is not really a big deal, and as a matter of fact, the way that blood is shown in samurai movies is sort of artistic in the way that they do it. It's not just meaningless and just gratuitous, I should say. But the intensity was there without it being too much blood, and I feel that it was effective in what it tried to get across in terms of tone and mood. It accomplished what it was or what it wanted for that movie. It did a great job. It's not typical is another thing. Like I'm kind of reluctant to tell people, yeah, go see this because it depends on how you view comic book movies and how you view um, just the way that action should be presented in general. It's like it wasn't really a heavily like Fast Six or Star Trek or like these it's like this non-stop, you just strap up in your seat and just go for a ride to the end of the movie. It's a very character driven movie. um you get more into who Logan is and why he feels the way that he does, and you also get to see at the end of the movie how he comes to I guess appreciate and just acknowledge who he is and accept it. So it's a very character driven movie. A lot of character driven scenes in it. The action when the action does kick in, the action is great. There's a special sequence on a bullet train that's really good. Like, and it's funny because when I saw the bullet train sequence or clips from it in the trailer, I was like, yeah, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? Because we've seen these train things, but it was actually a very effective scene and it was done well. Jackman is of course Wolverine. I mean, this guy is he's like to this universe what Tony Stark is to the Avengers universe. It's like he's the centerpiece of the X-Men universe, just like Tony Stark is basically the centerpiece of the Marvel Avengers universe. And he owns this role. I mean, he's owned it so much that really can't see anybody else doing this but Hugh Jackman. And my only real complaint, and it's more I guess, I don't want to say nitpicking, but for me as a fan, it would be so great if we can just get rid of this PG-13 rating and let somebody like, let's say, well, I don't want to pick the director, but I just want somebody to just cover this material as gritty and as dark as it possibly can be. I've always thought that if they covered, and it's a shame that I feel like it's a missed opportunity with this movie, um, because I love these samurai movies. I love the samurai themes. I love, I love the way that they're done, just visually. And I can't really say that there was anything in this movie that visually made me go, wow. Like in Hero with Jet Li, even though that wasn't a samurai movie. But the way that that movie was filmed, you just remember certain sequences from that movie. I didn't get that sense from this movie. And that's not to say that it was bad or anything. It's just that I feel like if it had been done in that way, it would have brought it home even more. I liked it and I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. And I don't want to give the impression that this is a bad movie and that you shouldn't see it. I think if you go see it, you're going to enjoy it. But I'm a real stickler, man. I'm hardcore when it comes to certain things, and I've always been a Wolverine fan, and I feel like if you're gonna do that type of character, then you got to do it without holding back. And even though this movie was good, even though it was effective, even though it was character driven, even though the action and the fighting was more intense, it still seemed to me like there was a little bit holding back. They still had to hold back to get under that PG-13 rating, and that sucks. But it's an enjoyable movie. I think you'll have a good time. Highlights of the movie: um, the girl in the movie who plays is sort of like his sidekick. She calls herself a bodyguard. Her name is either Ryla or Rila Fukushima. She plays a character Yukio, and this girl is badass. Badass. She's her face is very interesting. It's almost like like when they write these anime characters of Asian women, Japanese women, it's like they just pulled her straight off the page. She has a very interesting face and a very interesting look. Um, Jean Grey, the girl Famke Janssen, she's in some Wolverine dream sequences or nightmare sequences, if you want to, and she comes in periodically during his dreams. I don't want to give too much away about that, but that was an interesting part of it. The guy who plays Yoshida, who he saved when he was in Japan. Oh, also, let me tell you what the movie is basically about. I'm sorry, I should have did that at the beginning. Wolverine is basically, this is aftermath of the X-Men 3, after he's killed Jean Grey. And he goes into seclusion and hiding. He grows his hair out, gets a long, full beard. He's basically living in the wilderness as, just a vagrant. And Yukio, the young girl who works for Yoshida, finds Wolverine and relays a message to him that Yoshida is dying and wants to have Wolverine come to Japan so he can say goodbye to him. That's the pretense in which he wanted to get Wolverine into Japan. And Wolverine went, and as it turns out, not only is he really is dying, but he wants something from Wolverine. And basically what he wants is Wolverine's healing power and his ability to be immortal in exchange for Wolverine becoming mortal and being able to die. And that's all I'll say about that. He saved Yoshida during a atomic bomb blast in Japan when he was a prisoner there. And Yoshida gave him a sword, but he didn't take the sword. He told Yoshida, keep the sword for me. I'll come and get it later on or whatever, someday in the future. And so that's how the movie. That's basically what the premise of the movie is about. And I thought that the scenery in Japan was great. I feel that it should have been done a little bit better. I didn't feel the cinematography was spectacular because Japan is a great place to shoot at, and but it was great. And there were some good sequences in there. There was a sequence with the ninjas where they attacked him that was really memorable. That was shot really well. The sequence on the train, like I said, the sequence when they're running, when he's fighting the Yakuza, very good. And there's a character in there. She's a mutant. Her name is Viper. Um, eh, she was okay. I mean, not great, not bad, but just passable. And she got the point across that her role in the movie was what it was supposed to be, and it helped bring the story along further. So I didn't really have a problem with her. But overall, I would say Wolverine is a good movie, not a great movie, but a good movie for you to check and see. You'll be satisfied. You won't be walking out of there upset. And also, this is not a spoiler, but stick around until the end of the credits. Do not leave the theater until the end of the credits. All I'll say about it is, if you go and check out my Iron Man 3 review, and you'll see why I was a little bit upset with that particular standalone movie. This after scene credit, after credit scene is comparable to the scene at the end of Iron Man when Sammy Jackson comes out as Nick Fury, or it's comparable to when at the end of the Incredible Hulk, you see Tony Stark walk into the bar and he talks to General Ross. But the end scene at the end of the Wolverine is comparable to that, and it was very satisfying and really has me amped up to see what's coming next. So stick around for that, and that's my review of the Wolverine. I'll holler at you good people later. Peace.